Okay.
Hey guys, I'm Roger Wakefield, lead AP, the expert plumber, coming to you on YouTube Live. We'll try this again. We're only a few minutes late. Man, this is great to be here because it has been a little while. And I say that because last week I was actually in El Paso. And
it's coming through the computer audio, the Logitech.
Okay, so it's coming through the Logitech. Yeah. Okay, then I will play with this and see what I can do. We actually did that last time. I'm going to try and modify some things, guys. I think that's off. That's what that does. Yeah. I don't think that I can change my sound right now, so we'll just play with it the way it is. I don't really need this, but I'm going to keep grabbing it because it feels comfortable.
It's still audible.
But here's the thing: is a week ago, I was in El Paso, and I knew that I wasn't going to get home in time, but I really tried. And the week before that, I was actually out plumbing, so it was kind of crazy. But here's the thing: is I love getting in here and doing this. And those of y'all that know me know life's crazy. I need plumbers. I'm recruiting, trying to get kids to get into the trades. And the funny thing about it all is it's working. Social media works for marketing. And it's great because I've got some neat things coming up and some neat things going on. But the fun thing about it all, and in everything I'm doing, is just the excitement of all the new stuff. And I have people reach out to me all the time wanting to get into the trades. And I try and tell them, look, this is really a fun thing to do. And those of y'all that know me, look, I love what I'm doing. I love the plumbing part of it. I love the social media part. But man, there's some cool stuff going on. We are, as you know, that this is going to be my sponsor wall. And we are talking to different people about sponsorship opportunities. And we've got some great people that are looking at it and talking to us about it. So this has been really cool. Barney Film 85. You know what, man? It's been a couple of weeks. And man, you're right, brother. And I have missed it. I enjoy this. And the neat thing about it is it lets me communicate with y'all. And those of y'all that know, like I said, it's been ridiculously crazy. Our phones are blowing up, and all we're doing is social media marketing. And we do it with YouTube. We do it with LinkedIn. We do a little bit on Facebook. But the cool thing about it is it works. And it works crazy because I was walking out of the office, and those of y'all, I think I told a few people this a couple of weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. I was walking out of the office the other day, and Amber, my CCR, literally looks at me and says, hey, you realize we got 3 slab leak detection jobs yesterday just off YouTube. So guys, I'm going to tell you, what you see me doing here works. And I love the fact that I'm getting the opportunity to teach other plumbers this, to teach electricians and roofers and landscapers and painters and HVAC techs and all these other people that are wanting to learn this. This has been fun. But I've got some cool things going on, and a lot of them I can't talk about yet. But I tell you what, things are changing. And, those of y'all that are in the trade, y'all know this. Those of y'all that are here watching, you know this. And the coolest thing about it to me is the fact that I get to be out doing the things that I'm doing. I get to speak to people. I'm actually going to Vegas in January. I get to talk to 150 to 200 kids about getting into the trades when they get out of high school. So I'm really excited about that. I can't tell you who it's for or anything yet, but I get to speak next year in Dallas. And don't get me wrong, that's where I live. So it's not that big a deal as to where it is. But I'm going to get to speak to a group that I am really excited about getting to speak in front of. And I love it. But y'all know that I've been crazy the last 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm literally going to tell y'all what I did yesterday. Will got married Saturday night. We got a hotel room over by the venue where he got married. Julie and I got up early yesterday morning, went home, and I think I got on the computer at about 10 o'clock, maybe 10:30. And I literally responded to YouTube questions and comments and, vulgarity and everything else that I get on here. But I responded till about 10:30 last night. And I mean, it was a long day, but oh my God, I love talking about plumbing. I love talking about people with plumbing. So the live presentation is great, but the cool thing about it is, man, just sitting there and chatting back and forth through messages. I'll tell you what, I do love what I do. It is a lot of fun. So John Sicard, hello, Roger. Started an apprenticeship with a plumbing and HVAC hometown business in Southern Michigan. Your videos showed me some insight on what I wanted to do with my future career. I love that. So started in mid-September, still learning a lot every day. So John, tell me this, where in Southern Michigan? And I'm asking for a reason because I used to be an instructor for the United Association. And I'm sure you've heard of Ypsilanti. They used to send me up there every year, August. I'd go up there for a week and go through the instructor training program of the United Association. And I'll tell you what, that is one thing to me that is really cool. And I tell people, look, I'm not here preaching for residential or commercial service or new construction, union or non-union. Man, I'm preaching plumbing. I believe in plumbing. And that's what we're talking poop about. And the funny thing about it all is I love the fact that I got to get the education. I got to go to Ypsilanti. I got to go stay in Ann Arbor for a week every year. And I tell you what, John, man, there are some great restaurants there. My plan is to be there in 4 or 5 years. I'm a UT fan, the University of Texas, and they are actually playing in the Big House. And I'm excited about that because I was actually in Ann Arbor the night they turned the lights on in the Big House, and that was pretty cool. So anyway, man, I love this. Got 9 people in here, already got 4 thumbs up. That's a great way to start the show. So you're in Sturgis. There you go. Must be nice. Very fortunate to start with a guy who I've known in the community for a while. That is fantastic. John Meskey, please explain the HMLA 469 patch in the back. That's where I work currently. Okay, so this is really cool. And man, I cannot believe, because I know you didn't read that from there. I don't know if you know a gentleman, but Rich Cardona travels around the United States interviewing people, and he helps military veterans, he helps entrepreneurs, and he does a lot of interviews. He's big on LinkedIn. John, if you're out there, you really need to get in touch with him. But he came in here and interviewed me, and when he got ready to leave, he left me this. Actually gave me one and Will one. And man, it was cool. And I love it. I love having it up there. I was not in the military, but I think the guys that serve in our military are probably some of the greatest people we have in this country. And to have him, number one, want to come by and interview me was fantastic. But I get to see Rich at social media marketing events. And I'll tell you what, I love that guy. I love what he's all about. And he does a lot to work with veterans and for veterans, and either helping them on their entrepreneurial journey or get into a job or career that they want to. And it's so funny because I had somebody reach out to me on LinkedIn just a couple of days ago that does something similar. So I was able to connect those two guys. So, the thing is, and this is the one thing I love about social media. And I want y'all to think about that, because in our trades, it's a little different. And here's the story that I tell. There's a plumbing company right down the street from me. And if I went down there and told them, hey, my sewer camera is broken, can I borrow yours? what do y'all think they're going to tell me? Do me a favor and put your best response down here in the comments. I want to know what it is y'all think they would tell me, because I know what they would tell me. And when I tell this story at social media marketing events, and I've actually told this story on stage, is they would tell me, hey, you know what? We don't have a camera you can borrow, but tell us where the customer is, and we'll go take care of that customer. We'll do the sewer job. We'll do whatever. And that's what would happen. Now, I had camera problems one day, and I was in here trying to shoot videos, and one of my coaches is up here probably 20 miles north of me, and he literally calls and he says, hey, look, I'll bring my camera over. And he brings over this, $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 camera. And he's like, hey, here, use my camera. Let's set it up and let's do this. And it's like, whoa, wait. That's not what I expected. And, social media, the more I'm in this, the more I really love it, because the people really care and the people want to help each other. And that's part of why I get out here and do what I do. That's why I spend all day Sunday replying to people's comments, because I want to help them and do what I can for them. And I don't think that there's a better way to do it. So anyway, going back to Rich, that's where the patch is from. And like I said, his name's Rich Cardona. If you are not connected with him on LinkedIn, you need to be. Dude is phenomenal, got a heart of gold. And he is really doing some good things. So he's somebody great to connect with. Anyway, John, that's fantastic. Rock the Red 2009, back in the house. I love that. Man, this is a neat group. You're right. And that's a good way to look at it, because I get a lot of people in here that ask some great questions. And, people get excited about this. And I know it sounds crazy, but I love what I do. And to be able to get on here and talk to y'all and spend time with y'all, teach you things that I've learned and learn from y'all. Because I'm telling you what, I get as much value out of being here as a lot of people coming in here do. So that's fantastic. They would help you out. I tell you, yeah, they've helped me out all right. Jacob Sawyers. How often do you deal with poop in your job, and do you get drenched in it? Wondering, because I'm not keen on that side of the job. And I got to tell you, Jacob, and it's funny because I get that question a lot, and I get that question from people wanting to get in the trades, and that's stopping them. And they're like, look, I could never do that. And I don't know of any time that I've ever had it spray me in the face, anything like that. I did have an occurrence one time where I actually climbed down in a hole that had it because I was trying to make a repair. Probably shouldn't have, but that was when I first started. And man, I'm trying to show the bosses, look, I'm not afraid of anything. I'll do anything. Got back at that time, if I'd have known what a Navy SEAL was, I'd have thought, man, if I can do this, I can be a Navy SEAL. But you know what? It doesn't happen very often. And any of y'all in here that are plumbers, if I'm wrong here, or you've got a different story or aspect to it, please leave a comment and let him know, because it doesn't happen to me very often at all, even when I was on my tools every day. So it's not bad. Brian Buchanan, I've been planning for 6 years and never once been covered. Now watch tomorrow, I'll get covered. You know what? I've been plumbing for 6 years. Okay, Brian, yes. Well, I've been plumbing for 40 years now, and I've never been completely covered. Now you can see some of my videos where I watch these plumber fails, video fails, whatever it is you want to call it. But I tell you what, when I see that, and when I see the plumbers doing some of the things that they're doing, man, that is just crazy. Anyway, it is what it is. What we live with it, we deal with it. But I promise you, it doesn't happen very often. All right, rock the red, Jacob. It's not as bad as you think. I agree. Be prepared. Think ahead and be safe. And that's it. If you put yourself in a situation where hey, this could happen, man, either get yourself out of that situation or protect yourself with PPE. They make the Tyvek suits, they make face shields. We've got mono goggles that are like goggles, and then they have a face shield on it too. And I tell you what, you can protect yourself. You can do what you got to do to take care of yourself. And really, that's what it all boils down to. You want to do what's good for you and what's best for you. But man, it's not anything to keep you from getting into the trades. It does not happen near as often as people think. Let me see. I like that. So let me see. Barney Film 85. Just a quick rant. Minnesota licensing is a nightmare to deal with. A little over a month to get a response saying they won't reciprocate my Notre Dame. I know, North Dakota. Master license until a year from now. Maybe I should just move. Well, brother, if you move to Texas. I know somebody's got a plumbing company for sale in Richardson, doing really, really well. I need plumbers. We all need plumbers. If you're not having luck there, and I'm not going to tell you to move. You can go to work for somebody else. You can do whatever you want to do. But man, there's always options. Everybody in the United States is short plumbers. If they're not, they're either paying them really well, they're training better than anybody else, that they're advertising more than anybody else. I don't know what it is, but I will tell you this, that I'm involved with some groups that do training and teach you how to run a business, and they do a lot of different things. And all the plumbers that I talked to, and I had dinner last week with a plumber from Seattle and a plumber from Boston. They were both in Dallas to meet with this group. And I got to tell you, they both said they were short plumbers. Everybody's looking for plumbers, guys. If I was an electrician, this was an electrician channel, I'd be saying everybody's looking for electricians. God, I would never say that though. The thing is, we're in a good trade, and supply and demand is going to keep it good for us. And here's why. It really doesn't matter how much recruiting I do. It doesn't matter how much recruiting Mike Rowe does. It doesn't matter how much recruiting happens. We can't get enough people in here because we've been telling kids for years that they need to go to college. They need to do good for themselves and get a great education. And I'll tell you what, I know a lot of college kids that work for plumbers, that work for plumbing companies. And I'll tell you what, I have nothing against college. I didn't go. The closest I've been, like I said earlier, going to Ypsilanti, Washtenaw Community College. But I gotta tell you, guys, the trades are going to be great because the supply and demand is fixing to take over. And I was talking to somebody just the other day. I said, it will not surprise me if 5 years from now, plumbers are making $100 an hour on their check. And I'm telling you guys, we're not far from that. Plumbers are going to be making 200 grand a year, and it's going to be the norm. And you're going to see so many kids say, wow, you know what? I should have become a plumber. Guys, that's what I keep telling you. Listen to me, because it's coming. All right. Yeah, my reaction does get hilarious. Okay, so elevated one, I gave you that. Never been in a shoddy situation. I love that. Man, reaction videos are funny. Strange Quarks. Just got back from my first day with my first plumbing company doing rough ends. My dad is a master plumber here in New Jersey, but your videos have been super helpful and insightful. So thank you. You are welcome. Oh, I love this next one. Strange Quirks again. I left college to do this, and after today, I really feel like I made the right decision. Should have started a long time ago. Amen. Amen. I'm just telling you guys, look. And remember, I've been replying to comments all day yesterday. I mean, and then I came in this morning and did it for about another hour. This is replying to comments that I replied to yesterday, and people coming back in and replying. Strange Quarks, I don't know if you're subscribed to my channel or not, but I mean, go through and read my comments. I was literally, and I said this earlier, I was literally from about 10:30 yesterday till about 10:30 last night, maybe 10 o'clock yesterday till 10:30 last night, replying to comments on my YouTube. I've been swamped the last 2 weeks. I've been in El Paso doing a TV show. I was out here working late one night because I'm short plumbers. I love the fact that your dad's a master plumber. I want to make sure that I read that right. Yes, good. In New Jersey, I love it up there. I've been up to Piscataway, went up to, God, let me get this right. I flew into Boston, drove to New York. No, flew into New York, drove to Boston, drove to Piscataway. I love it up there. It's beautiful. We're from Texas. We think, okay, it's nothing but concrete and big buildings. And I'll tell you what, it's a beautiful country up there, especially out towards New Jersey. That is fantastic. Okay, then Juliet, we need to talk. I'll get to you in a second. Barney Films 85. Texas is too hot for a Scandinavian guy like me. Also, I don't want to drive in a big city. Okay, dude, look. Okay, Dallas is over there. And I say that like I'm not driving in a big city, but it is. Man, I'll tell you what, though. It's not bad. I'm not in the city. I'm up north of it. And as long as you're not on the roads at certain times, it can be okay. Okay, so Juliet Miranda. Mike Rowe was on my show talking about his Micro Works project, and he admitted it's only making a small dent. Okay, Juliet, I have been trying to get in touch with him since I started doing social media. I tried reaching out to his people. He was doing a thing in Annapolis where he's helping ex-convicts get out and get into the trades. And I've got a I've got a prison in Dalhart, Texas, that has reached out to me before, and I'm wanting to get up there and visit them. They're teaching plumbing. They're watching my videos. Heck, they might be watching my live right now. You never know. But it's really neat because, man, I'm trying to do everything I can to help people get into the trades. And it's not just plumbing. It's plumbing, electrical, HVAC, sheetrock, painting. There's so many things to do, and we're short people all the time. So if there's any way at all you can help, connect me with him. I want to help him. I could use his help. There's a lot of different things that I'm doing, but now, and I can't tell anybody what I'm doing yet next year, but I'm getting to speak at some major events that are really, really cool. One of them is that I'm going to be speaking at KBIS in January. I spoke there a couple of years ago. I was kind of on the American Standard team and got to speak in their booth. This year's going to be pretty cool. I'm actually going to get to talk to a bunch of high school kids and escort them around and just have fun, man. I love that. I love talking about the trades and helping people get into it. So it's fantastic. Elevated One, a psychologist is an apprentice in my department. Well, yeah, they can help talk us through some problems, or maybe we talk them. Either way, that's kind of funny. John Sicard, strange quirk. I did something very similar, started going to my local community college for general studies, planning to transfer after my first year. I knew I wanted to do something else. And I had so many people that I replied to, and I'm just talking about yesterday, but people saying, look, I went to college because my parents, forced me to, or told me I had to. And, I hated it. And I wish I wouldn't have done it. And don't get me wrong, and I don't tell kids, look, fight your parents, go against them or anything like that. But look, if it ain't what you want to do, say no. I said no to my dad. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't great. But I think in the long run, he ended up respecting me and understanding I did what I knew I needed to do. So there's a lot of different things that we can do. But guys, look, here's something that I look at is whatever you're going to school for, there are a ton of people going to school for it. Now, there's a ton of people going to school to be plumbers and electricians and HVAC techs and all that. Most of them aren't going to get through. And a lot of them are going to say, oh, this is really work. I don't want to do this. But guys, if you've got what it takes to number one, get into the trades, to try to get into the trades, to learn, to try to be better than everybody else. I talk all the time about how to study, how to become a plumber, how to become great at code, how to pass the tests, how to become the best plumber. man, that's what you can do to set yourself apart. And it really does. It makes a big, big difference. So, and to me, man, here's the cool thing. And I did this just the other day. I don't know how many of y'all are connected to me on LinkedIn. If you're not, please find me on LinkedIn, send me a connection, follow me, whichever way you want to do it. It doesn't matter to me. But I love talking about this. On LinkedIn the other day, I literally did a comparison about if a kid goes to college, and when I say kid, I don't mean boy or girl, I mean anybody. And I know, I had this conversation the other day. Somebody made a comment about, oh, well, women can't be good plumbers. I'm like, really? 3 or 4 of the top plumbers I know in Texas are women. The executive director for the Texas State Board, the former chief plumbing inspector in Dallas. I know an engineer, and the other one could be an engineer. I know one that's the director of training for one of the locals here. So there's so many women that I know in this trade, and they are so high above so m目men. So when I hear that, I just laugh. I'm like, dude, you literally have no idea what you're talking about. So anyway, yeah, I told people all weekend, look, I'm glad you realize now college isn't for you. Get out and do what you want to do. Jacob, what do I enjoy doing more, HVAC or plumbing? I can't decide. I like the sound of them both, but have no experience in either. What would I recommend? Well, I'm a plumber, so I'm going to recommend plumbing, but I am also an HVAC technician. I tell you what, and don't get me wrong, I enjoyed going to school to get my HVAC certification, but I just don't think that's for me. There's probably a better satisfaction in it. But my biggest problem with HVAC, they constantly, most HVAC techs, and don't get me wrong, I know bad plumbers too, but most HVAC techs come out and they just want to sell you a new unit, or they want to sell you a $600 capacitor that they paid $5 for. I don't always agree with everything and the way people do it, but guys, I'm one of these people too. When I walk into a house, if there's a water heater leaking, it needs to be replaced. If there's a water heater not working, chances are we can fix it. And I'm also going to tell you though, if you're going to pay $500 or $600 to fix it and it's 8 years old, you may want to invest that money in replacing it. So anyway, I get both sides of it. I love plumbing. I love the thought process behind plumbing. I love thinking like a plumber because I have a very analytical mind. And the neat thing about it is I'm a problem solver. So when I walk to a house and they've got a problem, my mind is already going, okay, wait, how do we solve this problem? And those of y'all that don't know, I've got a MiniCourse. It's free, but it's literally what kind of plumber do you want to be? And it talks about residential and commercial, service and new construction, union and non-union. And I don't preach about any of it. I don't try to tell you one way or the other what you should do. I knew that when I got into plumbing, I just thought there was just plumbing. And that's all there is. And it's funny because when I got into plumbing, it was new construction. It was a big remodel job. It was open shop, and it was commercial. Now I'm residential, service, union, where I was commercial, new construction, non-union. So guys, I've seen both sides of the fence, and I can tell you the good and bad about all of it. But I tell you what, getting into plumbing is great. HVAC, not so sure about it. Rock the Red 2009. Better mostly always have heat and AC available. HVAC and the heat is always off. I can see where HVAC, I can see the customer satisfaction in that. And I mean, remember guys, I'm in Texas. If it's 113 degrees outside and it's hot and my AC ain't working, I love my HVAC tech. But I can also tell you this, if my toilets are overflowing or I don't have water or whatever the problem is, I love my plumber too. So, there's good to both of them. I prefer plumbing. I went and took the HVAC certification. I just don't know that that's for me, but it's interesting. It's educational. It's fun. And I got to tell you, I really did enjoy it. All right, Strange Quarks. I've been subscribed for a few weeks now. My videos are super helpful and well done. Thank you very much. You know what? Oh my God, yeah, it's beautiful. You're right. I love New Jersey. I do. I love it. Okay, and Juliet, you can hook me up too, or connect with me. I don't have my phone here with me, but it's @_ Roger Wakefield. Also, Miss Juliet, if you will connect with me on LinkedIn, Roger Wakefield. Okay, I'm a social media guy, but I'm still learning stuff about Twitter. How many of y'all are on TikTok? That's the one I want to learn. I've kind of been having fun on there, just kind of checking things out and all this. And Gary Vee, man, brags about it. But anyway, I'm getting to know it, having fun with it, and it's kind of interesting, something new and different. So, morning neurosis. Man, where did you come up with a name like that? John Sicard. There's a community college in Kalamazoo that has an HVAC and plumbing program. Man, I like that. So, John, number one, have you talked to the local union? But the HVAC and plumbing program, I like that because, and here's my deal, and I got my HVAC certification in 12 days. And I know I've got a video out there. Can you get your plumbing license in 12 days? God, I hope not. But anyway, I went to school for 12 days and passed my HVAC certification. Now, it was easy for me to do because since joining the union in 97, I have been a superintendent on some of the bigger jobs in Dallas. So I was over HVAC people, pipe fitters, welders, running chill water pipe, heating water pipe, things like that. So I got credit for all those years. So when I went down to take the course, it really worked very well. And the good thing is, I mean, I understand a little bit of electrical. I understand a little bit of gases and refrigerants and stuff like that. And I know Freon's not a name, it's a brand, or it's not a product, it's a brand. But you know what? I really did enjoy studying it and enjoyed learning it. So it was really, really cool. And Strange Quarks, I'm glad that you're subscribed. I really do. I appreciate that. Juliet, are you subscribed? And John Sicard, okay, I like that one. Victor Otero, how are you, sir? Currently in my second year of college, 3.9 GPA. So, okay, you're smarter than me. Most people in this room are, so I'm in the right room. And plan on leaving California to become an apprentice out in Vegas, paying $1,300 a month for a 173 square foot apartment here in Southern Cal. Man, you can rent a big truck for less than that and have more room. Victor, I tell you what, man, and don't get me wrong, I love Cali. I've been out there a couple of times here lately to speak and thoroughly enjoy it. I actually got to speak at VidCon. So I've been to Anaheim, I've been to LA, I've been to San Diego. That's probably it. I hadn't made it up north yet. A real good friend of mine lives out in Calabasas, so I've got to go out there and hang out. That is freaking cool. Rented a Camaro SS convertible and got to drive it like 5 miles an hour down to 410. Yeah, it's about all y'all can ever get up to is about 5 miles an hour. Actually drove it over to Malibu, got to go through the mountains, then drove south down the, PCH. And God, made it just west of LA, came back across mountain. Love it out there. It is cool, but you're right, man. There's so many places that you can go. And I've got a company or a guy who's got a company outside of San Fran trying to sell his company and his house. He's wanting to move here, wants to buy my company. So talking to him about that. But yeah, the cost of living out there, man, what he going to sell his house for and make him profit? He can buy my company, my house. Heck, he might be able to buy my Jeep too. So anyway, there's a lot of good things there. I see we got Mr. Paul Peck Drywall Tube in the house. Thank you, brother. Paul, I am so sorry that I missed your live. I was just telling people here a while ago, I literally got on the computer yesterday morning at about 10:30, and I did not get off until 10:30 last night. I have not replied to YouTube comments in probably 2 or 3 weeks because I've been traveling for TV shows. I've been working. I'm still short plumbers, and it was crazy. But guys, if y'all are not watching what Paul Peck Drywall Tube is doing, flip over to his YouTube channel and subscribe. This dude is killing it. He did a live yesterday to celebrate 70,000 subscribers. And God, by the time he hit 70,000 and finally got around to doing his live, he's almost at 71,000. Anyway, dude's phenomenal. I love what he's doing. Got to meet him out in LA a couple of weeks ago. I say a couple now, it's probably been 3 or 4 weeks. But anyway, guys, go over and subscribe. It is worth watching him and what he does. And what's neat about it is we talked about it in LA. We want to do a collaboration together because, you know, people laugh at me when I go into cut a hole and sheetrock, it's with like a sharpshooter or something. And don't get me wrong, it works great. But drywall people tend not to like me very much. And that's okay. That really doesn't bother me either. At least Paul does, but because we don't live very close to each other. But anyway, man, we want to do a collaboration together because I love the fact that I have actually talked to a drywall guy and said, okay, look, if I'm ever going to cut a hole, what's the best way to do it? And number one, he threw away my sharpshooter. But anyway, it would be a good collaboration because I do. Paul's a good guy and really does know what he's doing. All right, so let me roll back up here real quick. I know. Morning neurosis. I love that. I scrolled up too far. Sorry, Juliet. Thank you for all the teaching you do. God bless. Alex C., God bless you, brother. Thank you very much. I love, and here's the deal. And somebody asked me this the other day. They said, why do you do what you do? And I said, look, now, you know, Texas is going through a lot right now with our plumbing license. The governor, the House of Representatives, somebody's trying to take it away. They're not filling board seats. I think they want to move us all under TDLR, which I don't have any problem with TDLR. I think Brian Francis, the executive director, is phenomenal. But I love the fact that the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners exists for a reason. And I think that given the finances and a little bit of maybe new leadership change, whatever it is we need, I don't know what it is. They need to get the board seats filled. But I think that we can make things better. So I've been getting into politics here lately. And it's been kind of crazy. But I love teaching people about plumbing. And I was talking to somebody about that. And I literally, when I was down there talking about the license, one of the House of Reps people, I'm going to be nice and stop right there, literally said, well, you know, can't you just put an apprentice with any plumber and after a year or two, he'll know how to be a plumber? And the thing is, what if you put somebody with somebody that's not good? And they asked me about it. And I was honest with them. I said, well, you know, what do you get? You know, I used to listen to Jim Rohn a lot in the mornings. And he talked about watching the news and filling your head with bad stuff. And his comparison was, it's like trying to make a cake with concrete mix. It's not going to turn out good because when you put crap in it, that's what you're going to get out. So what if you've got a bad plumber teaching an apprentice the wrong way to do things, the way to screw people, the way to cut them short, the way to make them think you fixed something you didn't, or charge them for something you didn't do. Now you're creating another bad plumber. And I don't like that. So I love the fact that I have the opportunity to get on here and show people the right way to do things or tell them about the right way to do things. And I love that because we've built our culture and our company around here on customer service and taking care of people. And you know, you meet people like Paul Peck and Nick and Dee and stuff like this, and you realize, man, the world is full of great people, and it's up to us to help lift each one of them up and get them to a better place. And that's why I love teaching. So thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. So Morning Neurosis is a book title. Juliet, you may be the smartest lady in the room, and I'll kind of leave it at that. Positive 23. I like that. Is it a good idea to learn multiple trades at once? If you have that opportunity, absolutely. And if you've got the right instruction, the right guidance, the right education, meaning books or whatever it is, man, I see nothing wrong with that. But I love the fact that when I learned plumbing, it was all about plumbing. And I waited till I had my plumbing license, probably 30, 35 years before I even went to HVAC school. And I think it was good because by the time I went, I didn't have to worry about plumbing. I knew it, didn't have anything to think about, but trying to learn multiple things at one time, to me, it'd kind of be like trying to learn 3 different languages at once. It's going to get confusing and things are going to get mixed up. So I would maybe focus on one, then go to another one. So the different ways to look at it, but man. All right. I like, and this is a good one. Rock the Red 2009. Have you ever attended Nexstar? And if so, what did you think? Nexstar started trying to kind of recruit me in about a year ago, and I have not gone to any of their events. I did go to, I went to an event for SGI, and it was really funny because my biggest problem with my company has been marketing. And I started calling around, and I knew of a guy who was married to one of my wife's ex-friends that they went to high school together. And he had grown a company. He was a marketing guy, but he had grown a company about 40, 50 miles away. So I actually reached out to him and said, look, I want to talk to you because I'm having problems. I'm hiring the wrong marketing people. They're messing things up for me. And I'll tell you what happened. The guy says, hey, have you ever heard of SGI? And I hadn't. And I'll tell you this, didn't even know what it was. So I literally came in, got on the computer, started doing research on SGI, which owns PSI, ESI, ASI, and I think RSI, and maybe ASI's airtime. And I was really impressed. And my wife and I went down to Houston and sat through what they call a profit day. And they spend a day just kind of highlighting the different things they can teach you. And the guys that they have doing it are fantastic. And they, man, are good to talk to. They make things very clear and explain things very well. And I've actually sent more people to Profit Day. They actually asked me to speak at a Profit Day here recently, and I couldn't because I had a TV show that day. But I got to tell you what, I signed up for it, and it has taught me a lot for my company. It has really been good because it showed me things that I didn't even know I didn't know. Now, remember, guys, remember I told y'all earlier about me going to Ypsilanti and going to Washtenaw Community College. That was 1 week out of the year, and it's just to learn how to become an instructor. I have no college background. I have no college education. I went to the School of Hard Knocks, and I learned very, very well. But I was a good plumber. So when I started my own company, I knew I was a good plumber, but also know I didn't know anything about running a business. That's what SGI taught me. And SGI taught me very well. So I've really enjoyed that. And it's been good for me. Oh my God, I got another Grayson. Grayson Wagner, with all the plumbing companies in town, how do I advertise for business? Grayson, and tell me this, everybody real quick, what town are y'all in? Do me a favor and let me know where you're at. I'm looking down there, you do it. I see Big John just came in. John, y'all got a big networking event up in New York, New Jersey this weekend. I was telling some people about it. Dan Currier, Dan Norton, Ross Brand, Big John. Man, if I left anybody out, let me know what's going on. And it may not be that event. It may just be a meet and greet or something like that. But man, I know I've got people from New Jersey in here. So if you want to leave a little information in there, that would be great. Jacob Anderson, I want to get into the trades, but I'm stuck between plumbing or electrician. By any chance, would you know which one of the 2 trades it would be easier to one day build a successful business? You know, to be honest, and you know, my first words are never become an electrician. You know, never, no matter what. And I'm joking. But if you want to build a business, to be honest, it's going to be just as easy or just as hard to do either one. The company that I was just talking about, SGI, is very similar to Nexstar. Where did Nexstar go? Okay, Rock the Red. Tell me, did you go to the Nexstar event? And tell me what you thought about it. So anyway, I haven't done the Nexstar thing. But there's electricians, there's roofers and HVAC techs in the SGI groups with me. And I've met some phenomenal people. And, here's the thing, and this is something that I talk about a lot on LinkedIn, is when you decide to open your own business, you're going to need coaches. You're going to need consultants. You're going to need people to teach you the things you don't know. Look, I had moved very high up in plumbing at some of the biggest mechanical contractors in town. I was a foreman. I was a superintendent. I ran some big jobs, some of the biggest jobs in Dallas. I was on some of the biggest jobs. I was on a 2 million square foot county hospital or community hospital. I'm a lead AP. I'm med gas. Residential fire protection. I'm water supply protection specialist. I'm a master plumber, a master RMP. So, I get the education end of it, learning to improve myself and be better. Here's what I'll tell you. When I walked out and opened my own company, I didn't even know what I didn't know. And there are companies, Rock the Red went to a next Sterling. I went to SGI. I believed in it so much, I signed up that day. I was like, look, you're teaching me things I hadn't even thought of yet. And it was a big deal for me. So learning about Success Group International helped me a lot. Man, if we don't know what we don't know, it just kills us. But one thing that I tell people all the time is, look, if you're going to spend money to do stuff like that, listen to them, learn from them, implement things, go in, take it in, use it, and help yourself grow. So Jacob, either one of them is going to help you get to opening your own business. Either one of them. It just depends on what kind of business you want to open. What I would do is think about where you want to be, what kind of company you want to be. I've got that free mini course on one of my videos here. It talks about residential, commercial, service, new construction, union, non-union. Make what choices or think about what you want to do, and then start looking at that and moving in that direction. Neil at the Urban Explorer. Paul. I saw Neil too. Had fun. Look at him in there. I didn't even see him stuck. There he is. Yes. No, I am not doing channel reviews. I think that's Saturday morning at 8:00 Central Standard Time. And actually, man, they've been early here lately. I got up at 6:00. Man, this another great guy. Guys, there are some amazing people in here. Neil, it is great to see you, brother. I saw Paul put that and I thought, wait, what did I say about Neil? That's fantastic. Sean, how much does a plumber make a day? Great question. So, great answer. Depends on how much plumbing he does. Here's the deal, is it all gets down to what do you charge and what does it cost you to do that work? And what I mean by that is I can go out and work for an hour. And if I charge somebody $350, but I use $400 worth of materials or product, I lost money. A plumber can make great money. If you're just a plumber working for a company here in the Dallas area, I'm union. Our scale is 33 on the check, 45 total benefits package. So they get insurance and pension and stuff like that. The plumbing companies, man, you should be making a good percentage that every truck does. And here in the Dallas area, a truck should be able to generate me between $300,000 to $400,000 a year, and I should make a decent percentage on that. So different ways to look at it, but man, a plumber, once you become a plumber, most plumbers now make $100,000 a year. You can make more than that. You can make less than that. It really depends on where you're at and what else is going on. So on average, yeah, it's somewhere in between there. You can hit anywhere in that range. So Paul, what time, or Neil, what time is it over there? Oh my God, it's gonna get fun now. Okay, so see, you're talking pounds. Man, that doesn't mean anything to us. So we've got a Liverpool, England, and Ontario, Canada. Jacob, good to see you here. I'm getting talked on photos on Facebook because I keep getting pop-ups down here in the bottom. Also, this past weekend, okay, I had sent some people, I'm involved. That's right, today's Monday. God, I don't even know what day it is anymore. Big John, Will got married Saturday night, so we were all, man, it's been a crazy, crazy weekend. Big John knows Will, my videographer, my stepson. Great wedding. It was pretty cool. Barney Films 85 from Grand Forks, North Dakota. Yeah, that is a good group. And man, you can put a link in here or something. I know that y'all got a group up there in New York that is man, we got one here in Texas Video Creators. It's owned by Video Marketing World, Jeremy Vest, Scott Simpson, Camera Simpson. And they're doing some good things. So it is really, really cool. Okay, People of Video, that's the one coming up. And yeah, that's in May. Man, that's going to be fantastic. I didn't know Brian G was speaking. I knew that Nick was. And I think I knew that Tim Schmoyer was, if I'm not mistaken. That's pretty cool. Rock the Red 2009. You went to Nexstar, found it to be very helpful in developing soft skills, then using those with my personality really helped you. Took the class about 2 years into my career. That's fantastic. So now, Rock the Red, do you own your own company or do you work for somebody else now? And is your company or their company still a member of Nexstar? Because I know people down the street, HVAC technicians, that are actually a member of SGI and Nexstar. I know a lot of SGI people that are also members of PHCC. So, there are groups and organizations out there that have systems and processes in place to help you learn and help you grow. Paul Peck, if you're still in there, do they have anything like that for HVAC techs or anything like that? And I'm sorry, not HVAC techs, for drywall guys, painters. Do they have, we were talking earlier about SGI and Nexstar and how they help companies learn what they need to grow. And Big John, you are a moderator now, so you're good. Do they have things like that? Because that's kind of interesting. Positive 23, how do I feel about welding? Love it, man. Welders are one, and that's how the union really focuses on growth. They get and train some great people for welding. And I've seen some welders that are just phenomenal. So I love it, have fun at it. I'm not good at it. I don't do it. But I've had some people on some of my big jobs running heating water and chill water and things like that that were just great at what they did. Big John, thank you very much. So the New York City Video Creators Meetup is there. That they've got People of Video coming up. It is, man, if you are into social media, you're into video, you're into wanting to learn how to do it, it's a cool thing. And I love that they've got tickets for 50% off right now. Thank you, Big John. I really do appreciate that. And, I talk about, and I talked about this earlier when I talked about a camera and the relationships you build and, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, the different places I'm at. But you build these relationships. I met Big John here in Dallas just over a year ago. And it was at a networking event or at a social media marketing event, Video Marketing World. And I tell you what, I have learned so much at these events that have helped me grow and learn to do better. But man, the neat thing about it is I always want to help people. And that's what a lot of this stuff is really about. So any of y'all in New York that want to learn to do some of this, man, fantastic. Tyrone Bowles, I wish I would have met and learned from you before leaving for California. Started my plumbing career in Texas, but didn't take it serious until moving there. It's funny. Last time I was there, I was speaking at VidCon, and I had a bed and breakfast right down the road, and I'd walk next door to the gas station to get a bottle of water. And when I came out, I'm going to say it was a bottle of water anyway. When I came out, there was a plumbing truck there. So I stood around, waited, and the young man that came out was very polite, very friendly, service plumber. And I stood and talked to him for about 30 minutes. And man, I just about had him talked into moving to Texas. We're short plumbers. So if you ever want to come back home and you're a residential service plumber, Man, we're always looking for plumbers. Okay. Hello, Miss Julie Wakefield. How are you? Julie, I was just telling Big John about Will, and he said that he's all pictures. I think that's great. So the Urban Explorer, jack of all trades, welding mechanics, plumbing, joinery, building these vans, you have to be. You know what? And man, you're right. The stuff that you do, you got to be able to do a little bit of all of it. So Rock the Red, the company is not a member now. Own company in 18 months, definitely consider sending my guys to Nextdoor or something similar. I tell you what, and here's a cool thing about SGI. They've got what they call the Learning Alliance, which is their training center. And you know, they've got great people in it because I've been to a lot of their training. But they've got a deal where for a set fee every week or every month, you can send as many people as you want to go all the time. And it's good. You know, you heard me mention earlier going out to dinner last week with a plumber from Seattle and Boston. And they were in town going to a budgeting class. The guy from Seattle had come to town 2 weeks before and gone through a general manager course with him and his son, because his son is eventually taking over his company. And I tell you what, man, they are just blown away by the quality of the training. And I think it's great. So pretty cool. Urban Explorer, my days of time served joiner. The back of the day, they did everything. So you learned a lot from him. Dads should teach sons things like this. I tell you what, and I love that you put that in there, because my dad's not a plumber, but my dad made sure every time he worked on a car, he called me out there to do it. And I love it because I take care of my trucks. I take care of my Jeep. I change my brakes. I do a lot of things myself. Now, don't get me wrong. I've got a great mechanic down the road that I trust. And I carry stuff over there and drop it off quite often. When you've got a plumbing company and you've got 4 vans and a truck and a Jeep and this and this and this, I don't have time to work on all of it. But I promise you, I have fun at it. And I do know how to do it. So it is actually pretty cool. Tyrone. Okay, I like that. So you say that's the plan. I hope you mean the plan to move to Dallas, because I really can use another plumber. Residential service plumbing, man, I love that. So you're taking your journeyman plumbing test. Now, I want to talk about that. What does it entail taking your journeyman plumbing test? And I'm just curious because it's different everywhere. Neil, you're right. I tell you what, Will, when he moved in with me, he was 14, getting ready to start high school over in Plano, or junior high, then high school. But when he needed to work on cars, or when I worked on cars, I always got him out there, and he learned some. I don't know how much he learned, but at least I know that he can handle his own. So Julie, SGI is great for everyone in a company, from CCRs to managers and owners. They have something for the whole company, and they do. And Julie went with me to Houston that day, whenever we were first talking about it. And, it just kind of, it's like they hit us in the head with a 2x4. It was like, wow, there is so much we don't know about running a residential service business. And to be able to get in here and do it, it has been good for me. But I will tell you this, and I love talking, when talking to the other company owners, when you go to these events, there's people in there that are there to teach you, that are in the classes and the sessions. And some of them are the companies that they're there to sponsor the event, that they're there for the contractors as suppliers and things like that, because they've got deals worked out where you can get discounts for different groups, different things, all kinds of stuff. The most important stuff that I get every time I go is that when you go out in the hallway, or you go to lunch, or you sit out at the bar, you learn so much from all the other owners. And to me, that is the cool part. Getting to spend time with other company owners that have either been where you're at. There's companies in this group. 2 of the biggest companies in my area are in this group. And I get to sit and listen to them talk about marketing and growth and how they've done this and how they've done that. And it's really neat because, these guys are straight up and legit, and they're honest about it. They're like, hey, look, the cool thing about it, they're like, look, you ever want to come to our plant or office, just come walk through it. We'll take you out and show you the warehouse. We'll show you our dispatcher's room. Man, their dispatcher's room looks like NASA. There's like 84 feet TVs on the wall. That thing, it looks like a drive-in theater right there with several screens. And I'm telling you, they can watch everything going on. They know what calls are coming in. They know where their guys are. They know how long their guys have been there. They know so much that you look up at it and it's like, man, if I had all this, I could run my company too. Wow, hello. If I have all this information, I could run my company like this too. And that's what they're there to teach you. So I didn't want to get off on a rant on it. I know you brought up Nexstar, and I haven't done Nexstar, but they have asked me about it. Sending your guys in, and I love the fact that you're saying, look, I'm going to send my guys to Nexstar or something like it. Sending your guys in, training your guys is one of the most important things any company owner can do. We've got to teach our guys communication skills. We've got to teach them customer service. We've got to teach them to become better plumbers. What if they're not as good as you? Are you going to take the time to spend the money to do what needs to be done to make them that kind of plumber? And it costs you money. But then the problem is then you got to worry about them leaving. But what I'll tell you is make sure that when they're there, you take good enough care of them that they don't want to leave. I've lost plumbers I didn't want to lose. I've lost plumbers that I knew I should have fired well before they left. I would say this, always train your guys. If you train them and they leave, you know what? It's okay. If you don't train them and they stay with you forever, it's not going to be okay. So spend that time. Do what needs to be done. Make sure that, make sure that you know what you need to know. And that's where I go back to the Nexstar and things like that is, man, sometimes it's just, it's bad when you don't realize there's things out there you don't know and it can't help you grow your business. So, Julie's still talking about a wedding. I should have known. Big John, thank you. It was a beautiful wedding, and Will and Sarah are so happy. I tell you what, and I'll take a minute here to say, hey, look, it was great. Will's a smart guy. He set up some really cool things, did some really cool things. He made that wedding something memorable, not just for him, not just for Sarah, but for his parents, for her parents, for everybody there. It was a very classy, very memorable, very cool wedding. And Sarah and Will both looked amazing. The venue was cool. It was a neat thing to be there with. Justin, do you ever take poop and be like that? Stinky. No, can't say I do, Justin. No. Paul Peck, love that picture of Roger and us that you posted on Twitter, Neil. I tell you what, it's so cool going to events like that, and you get to meet people. Paul, Big John, Neil, Nick and Dee. Big John was there the night that I met Nick, and it was so funny because you're in chats like this with them, and you walk up to somebody like Nick, and you say, "Hey Nick, I'm Roger Wakefield." He's like, "Oh, I'm fine. How are you?" And you can tell, okay, he has no idea who I am. Then you say, "Hey, I'm the expert plumber." He's like, "Oh my God, you're the expert plumber." And and that's why I changed my name. It's like, look, I don't want to be branded as the expert plumber forever. You can't just walk up and say, "Hey, I am the expert plumber." I mean, I can say it every now and then, but just to be able to walk up and say, "Hey, I'm Roger Wakefield." You walk up and say, "Hey, I'm Paul Peck." So some of you walk up and say, "Hey, you do it." Love it, Big John. But John was there the night I met Nick, so that was cool. And to hang out later, become friends, take pictures, stuff like that, man, it is a neat group we've got. Isaiah 92, just jumping in. I have used Nexstar for about a year, not too impressed with their training. It can help if you like people skills and common sense, but think it's overrated. And Isaiah, I don't know anything about it. Where'd it go? I think it was Rocking the Red. Let me scroll way up there then. Yeah. Rocking the Red 2009 has been through some of the Nexstar training. I've been through the SGI training. Julie and I are members of SGI. We're here with Texas Green Plumbing. This video is sponsored by Texas Green Plumbing. Sorry, gotta make the FTC happy. As you see, there's nothing around here that's been given to me or that I'm being paid to sponsor, except maybe the Microsoft mouse. But, anyway, and this video is not made for children under 13. So anyway, Bob Ply, Roger, just wanted to thank you for the time you take commenting on subjects and the experience you have had over the years, telling the stories. I tell you what, I love telling stories about me growing up, about how I got into plumbing, why I got into plumbing, and what it's done for me and my family. But I think my favorite ones are the ones where I look back at students that I've had that have really gone on to do well. And, it's funny, I was driving down the road the other day and I saw a plumbing truck and recognized the name. So I pull up next to it and the driver just starts laughing. He rolls down his window. He was one of my students in class. And when he got out, he stayed in the union for a while. Then he got out and opened up his own residential service company. And he's doing really well. And I'm very proud of him, love what he's doing. Those are the stories that I really like. That is when I know that I had an impact on somebody. One of the students gave me a glowing review on my LinkedIn channel because I was one of his instructors, and he went on to win the apprentice competition. And that is one thing that I love about the union. It's the competition and the camaraderie and the way everybody's wanting to do better and help each other and this and that. So it's really interesting, but it's fun because, when he went, he told me, he says, look, you are the main reason that I was here. He said, you just kept saying, look, you can do this. And you made sure I had the right study material, and you had this and you had this. Me as an instructor, I can't make anybody study. I can't make anybody do anything, but I can lead them right to the correct information. And, that's the thing about, Nexstar, SGI. I don't know anything about Nexstar, so I can't tell anybody about it, but I do know about SGI. And I tell you what, it has opened up my eyes, and it's been a game changer for me. When I tell my stories about Michael Gerber and him being one of the first coaches that I had, he wrote the E-Myth books. And he looked at me and he's like, hey, you got a lot to learn. And I did have. So I hired him, and he taught me a lot. He showed me a lot of what I needed to do. The neat thing is, and y'all know I'm involved with Master Networks, I'm involved with SGI. Those are the places that show me how to do what I need to do. And man, it's helped me a lot. So I like both of them very, very much. Isaiah, love my channel, man. I appreciate that. That was a good photo. Tyrone Bowles, is there a reason you choose to go union and have a residential plumbing background? Man, Tyrone, I'll give you the quick rundown of my story. I started out in 1980 doing commercial, let me make sure I get it right, commercial construction, non-union plumbing. I worked non-union until 97. In 97, I joined the union and pretty much worked commercial all the way up till 2015. And when I say work commercial, I worked some of the biggest commercial jobs in town. I got out in 2015. I was director of operations for a large mechanical contractor, and they were full of it. They would tell that they were wanting to open a residential service division, and they we were in an executive meeting one day, and the new owner, the owner's daughter who was going to take over, was talking about, we're going to tell people we specialize in customer service. We have the best trained plumbers, and we have this, and we have this. And I asked one day, I said, okay, so what are you going to do to do all that? And she looked at me and says, what do you mean? I said, well, if you're going to tell people you have the best trained plumbers, how are you going to train them? And she said, well, our plumbers have licenses, they're trained. And I kind of shook my head. I said, okay, you're telling people you're going to specialize in customer service. And she says, well, our guys know how to say please and thank you. We're fine. And I thought, you know what? That's not the kind of company I want to be associated with. So I ended up getting out. And remember, that was still union. I ended up getting out, didn't know what I was going to do, started my own company literally the next Monday. I got a phone call. I had already known that I eventually wanted to start my own company. So I was kind of doing little stuff on the side, evenings and weekends, building relationships and whatnot. And I started working on Monday. I was busy, and I've pretty much been busy since then. I got joined up with Master Networks, started building a team to tell people about me. Tried doing a lot of different marketing things. Man, everything in the world I kept trying. Every company either lied to me, cheated me, or just stole money from me. Eventually, I decided I wanted to learn social media, and that's how I got going. I'm a union contractor because I think that's good for my employees. It's not always the best thing in the world for a small service company owner, but I've been talking to my local union. We've been talking about making changes and doing things. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. I've talked to some of the unions around the country that have residential service. They're doing great at it. They've got great companies at it. They got great support there. And man, we're still talking about that opportunity. So that, Mr. Tyrone, is the quick answer. Probably not as quick as you wanted, but I do appreciate it. I think somebody getting into the trades, and I want to talk about it just because he asked. I think somebody getting into the trades as an employee, a union's a good thing. You get good benefits, you get good training, you have a pension plan, you have a retirement plan. There's things set up for you. As long as nobody messes all that stuff up, it's great. So as an employee, it's fantastic. As a company owner, then you've got to look at ways to incentivize, ways to improve the system. If I was a big commercial company and I just needed 300 or 400 people to work, man, the union's great because they can get them for me. My union here doesn't train service right now, so it's kind of hard on me. But man, I tell people all the time, I think from an employee point of view, being in the union is fantastic. It is really, really good for them. Isaiah always recommends customers to my channel. I love that. I do too. I point them to it just to teach them. And it's good if people can learn how to do stuff that doesn't cost them a lot of money. They can learn to fix it for free. And you know what? You're building a great reputation by doing that. And I definitely appreciate it. Big John, you're right. Nick and Dee, both fantastic. Love what they do. That's pretty cool. Rock the Red, thanks for the tip. I'll be looking into SGI as well. Your residential like commercial service and love it. See, man, I'm right there with you. I'm telling you, you need to come to Northeast Dallas. I'm looking for plumbers bad. All right. Popstar Hako. I've been an apprentice for 4 to 5 months, getting paid $14 an hour in California for construction plumbing, and you're only 20. Know you deserve more money, but the owner doesn't pay anyone what they're worth. Well, the good thing is, Popstar, you have opportunity to leave, or you have opportunity to learn more, bring more value to yourself, and see if you get more money that way. There's a lot of plumbing companies in Southern California or in California. It doesn't say where are you located. The good thing or bad thing about me is I know plumbers all across the country. I'll point you to some companies that you might be able to make more money at. The Urban Explorer, so many great people and so much fun and respect as well. Man, you're right. And you said it right to John. This is a great group. The YouTube crowd, the even the LinkedIn crowd. Oh my God! When I was in Anaheim, the people there with LinkedIn, phenomenal. And man, you meet people, and Neil, Paul, Big John, y'all know this. I've known people on LinkedIn that when I finally met them, I mean, man, it was like hugs. It's like, oh my God, how are you? And I mean, D was like that. Oh, it's so funny. I'll tell you all my story about meeting D. I'm at Vid Summit a year ago, and I go into next class, and I sit on the front row. Those of y'all that have seen me know I'm almost always on the front row. And I'm sitting there, and I've got my water, and I've got my iPad out. And somebody had set some stuff down on a couple of seats down towards the middle, but still on the front row. And all of a sudden, D walks up and sits down. I look over. I said, D, how are you? He looks over and said, I'm fine. How are you? I said, good. I said, I'm Roger Wakefield. And he stands up. He's like, oh my God. He said, come here. So, man, we hug. And I tell you what, I saw D all weekend long, and it was fist bumps. I mean, it was everything. But the neatest thing, we sat down on the sofas back around the corner from where the bar was. And it was probably Wednesday or Thursday night. And we sat there and just talked forever. And Nick was talking to somebody, but Will and I got to sit there, and we probably spent about an hour talking to D. And I tell you what, that is neat, because this is such an amazing group of people. And I don't just mean YouTube. I mean YouTube, LinkedIn. There's a lot of people involved there. But man, I love this industry. I love the camaraderie. I love the friendship, and I love all these relationships. There are some wonderful, wonderful people here. Miss Julie Wakefield, where did it go? I know you went in there somewhere. There she is. Microsoft doesn't sponsor. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right. Sorry about that. Tyrone, my thoughts on a plumber being in plumbing trade for years, and instead of joining union through apprenticeship, they just move on to take the test. You know what, Tyrone? I ain't got nothing against it. The union's not for everybody. Service work isn't for everybody. New construction is not for everybody. No, we've all got choices to make, and it's whatever the best choices are for us. And when I talk about my MiniCourse, where I tell people about residential, commercial, new construction, service, union, non-union, I'm not preaching any of it. I just tell you, hey, I've been all of the above. So I can tell you what it is, the pros and the cons of each. And at that point, it's up to you. I have no problem against anybody who doesn't want to be union. I'm not one of these people. I'm not going to stand up and call your names because you are union or you're not. Man, that's your choice. It doesn't matter to me. Just like being a plumber or an electrician, I wouldn't call an electrician names. Maybe I would. Anyway, so it is what it is. Man, yeah, go open shop, go through your apprenticeship, get the hours you need, go take your test, become a plumber. More power to you, man. Danford, bro, your mustache is legendary. Wasn't that a thing in the 80s or 70s? Man, I thought I had moderators in here or something. They really let that go through? It is legendary. And that's about when I started growing it, 1963. It took a while, but it's 56 years in the work, so it's doing good. Danford, you know what? This is part of my trademark now. It's part of my brand. I kind of can't get rid of it, but I kind of enjoy it. I will say this, guys, if you hadn't subscribed yet, you need to subscribe, because we're working on some videos that are going to be hilarious. I've actually got people that we are talking about collaborating with that could really be cool. And if it works, it's going to be fantastic. I don't know how many of y'all are subscribed. I know a lot of you are. But if you hadn't subscribed and you haven't given me a thumbs up yet, man, please do so. I do appreciate it. But yes, my mustache is legendary. Thank you very much. Damian Dependable. Love it. Hello, how are you, sir? Ringo Hayes. Have plumbing wages remained the same for the past 20 years? Not no, but heck no. 20 years. Okay, so let me think back. 20 years ago, I had been in the union for 2 years, so I was probably making $20 an hour, maybe a little bit more than that. 1999 to 2000 was the first year I went over 100 grand a year, because I remember it was a lot of hours, but it was good. Man, I was making 2.5 times that before I got out of the union. So no, they're not the same. And I look at, me being a company owner, I get to see which, I mean, all the union members can get to see the projections on the raises that have already been negotiated in the contracts. Man, the rates are going up. Wages are going up. I had a conversation just the other day, and I told somebody, look, within 5 years, I truthfully think here in Texas, plumbers will be making $100 an hour on their check because of supply and demand. Guys, we need more people in the trades, not just plumbing, all of them, but we need them, and we need them bad. Seek ye the kingdom first. You're in your 40s, currently work in a school district maintenance department, completed the backflow. Good for you. Thought it'd be a place to hone my skills, but that hasn't happened. And I'll tell you what, and somebody asked me this the other day. They're like, hey, look, I've been a maintenance man and this, here's the thing I'll tell you is get out and get your plumbing license or your electrical license or your HV or whatever it is you're learning there, because that is going to let you market yourself and sell yourself. And you're going to become very valuable and you're going to make more money. And man, you're going to find out too, it's pretty cool out there. It really is. All right. So anyway, get back into it. Yes. Pops for Hayco located in Orange County. Fantastic. Man, I'm telling you, Dallas, Richardson, stuff like that. We are looking for plumbers. Dan Nemeth. Yeah, see, I forgot about him. Dan is awesome. He is phenomenal. Love the YouTube community. Amen, Brother Paul. The only minimum. Oh, the only minimum, that Dan fella. Yeah, it's I'll tell you what, that was pretty funny. And then you got Brother Dale that says, I'm not Nick Nemeth. Yeah, Dan Nemeth, that's cute. Urban Explorer, most of the people I hugged, I needed a seat to stand on. Come on, Dale. I tell you what, and that's the thing, and I go back to it, is, the relationships made online in the chats like this, in the lives like this, probably met every one of y'all in, Nick's lives. But then you meet in person and you get to know each other, and man, it is such a great community. Garden Gnome, that's pretty good. Bob Smith, hi Roger, currently an apprentice with plumbing and heating company. Been an apprentice for roughly 8 months. My question, is it common for an apprentice to be a fetcher? Here in Texas, we call them gophers. But yes, it is common. But I will tell you this, Bob. The more you learn, the more you can contribute, and the more you can do. You call it being a fetcher. Let me tell you how I would look at it if I were you. Start watching your plumber and realizing what he's going to need next. And if you can start being prepared and have those things there, then they start realizing, man, this kid's pretty smart. And that's when you're gonna get more credit. You're gonna get more things to do. They're gonna say, well, hey, look, if he's smart enough to do this, maybe he can do this. Yes, it's common. Seriously, we call them gophers. But I will tell you this. Stick with it, because they're going to understand, the fittings, the tools, what you're doing, and you'll get your chance. Man, maybe studying, learning, things like that. There might be stuff that you can do to help speed that up. That's up to you. If you're not subscribed to this channel, go look at some of my videos. I've got videos where I talk about the books to study, the things to do. Where are you working at? I like the fact that you're doing plumbing and heating. Now, does that mean like Texas, where it's HVAC air conditioning companies, or do you mean like West Coast, where you're doing radiant floor heat and stuff like that? I'll say West Coast, Seattle, stuff like that. You can do it. John, you gotta love it. Popstar Hako, currently work for JMP Plumbing, only learning as much as the person I'm working with knows. None of the plumbers are licensed, and I feel I'm wasting 40 hours a week. Man, you are not getting paid enough. And I'll tell you this, if you're working with people that aren't licensed, and I know it's tough because a lot of states don't have licensing and stuff like that. But, this is one thing that I tell apprentices whenever they say, hey, look, I'm going to apply for a job or going to join the union. What are they looking for? And I always tell them, look, one of the first things I would do when I walk in for an interview is, look, what are y'all going to give me? Meaning, what am I going to learn from you? Can you make me the best plumber in Texas? Because that's what I want to be. Can you make me the best plumber in the United States? Because that's what I want to be. Am I going to get an education from you? Or are you just wanting somebody to show up and bust their back for you? Is this just a manual labor job? What is it? And, those are questions that I always wanted to know. What can I get out of this? I'm going to do what I can to make you look good, but how are you going to help me? Am I going to learn here? Are you going to put me with good plumbers? Are you going to put me with the best plumbers so I can learn to do things right? Or am I just going to run a tool truck for a year? Am I going to be a gopher for 2 years? And then 3 years later, I'm like, man, look, I've been doing this 3 years and I don't know anything about plumbing. Man, always ask, what's in it for me? And you don't want to make it sound like that because you are there to help this company. And they're going to say, look, we're giving you money for that. We're paying you fairly, and that's what it's all about. Yes, it is. But what are you going to give me that's going to help me grow, to bring more value to you? Because if you're going to take good care of me, I want to be here and I want to be valuable and I want to help you. And man, I can't tell you how big it is when I have someone come in and apply that they want to know, look, what am I going to learn here? How am I going to become a better person, a better plumber, a better husband, a better father? What am I going to learn here that's going to help me? And I really like that. Seek ye the kingdom. I feel pigeonholed. The work is repetitive. Culture's reactionary only. No preventative maintenance. No standards. I feel like I'm losing skills. And man, you may be. And I really doubt that you're losing skills or anything like that. But it's tough to have a job where you don't learn. You don't feel valued. You don't feel like you're learning enough to become valuable. I get it. You're the angry gnome. I love it. Happy one. You are legendary. Thank you, honey. You have to say that. I know I can never shave my mustache. Kristen Hill said that at Video Marketing World. Tim Schmoyer can never take off his hat, and I can never shave my mustache. Neil, I love you too. Don't tell my wife she's in here. And it was great. It was great meeting all y'all. I had so much fun there. This was really a cool deal because, and here's my story. And y'all may know, Big John, you'll probably know. Who's the lady with the Eskimo dogs? I saw them, but the last day, her and the guy with her, and I can't think of his name. I think he's got you know what I'm talking about. Yes. Yeah, anyway. Mohawk. I knew it'd come to me sooner or later. She came up and like, oh my God, we love watching you and what you're doing. It's so neat. And I tell them, I said, look, y'all are part of my story. Because when I was at Vid Summit a year ago, I walked up and they're out in the outdoor plaza and I'm talking to them. And one of them, and it may have been Dan Norton or Dan Courier standing there with them. And somebody looked at me and said, so how many subs do you have? I said, 117. And they said, wow, 117,000 subs for a plumber. That's amazing. And I looked at them, I'm like, no, I mean, I've got 117. And it was funny. And they're like, no, we remember and we've watched you grow so fast. And it's funny because you see people and you know people. And I'll tell you another funny thing is I was on the elevator And I hadn't told very many people this, but I was on the 7th floor and I was on the elevator. So I get on the elevator to go down, and it goes down one floor and it stops. And Daniel Harmon comes walking on the elevator. And I look at him and just, kind of put my head down. And somebody comes on with him. And I'm sitting there, and Daniel Harmon looks over and he says, I know you. I said, I'm Roger Wakefield. I said, I've come to other events that you've spoken at. I've seen you. I've seen you speak. I like what you do. And as soon as I said, I'm Roger Wakefield, the guy next to him just kind of looked up at me. So after I said that to Daniel, I looked over at him. He says, I don't know who you are. He says, but I know you're the expert plumber. And he was with Daniel. And I was just like, wow, this is pretty cool. And, the community, this YouTube community, those of y'all that aren't in it, it's phenomenal. The LinkedIn community, same thing. If y'all aren't on LinkedIn, you need to get on LinkedIn. And if you are on LinkedIn and we're not connected, please, send me a connection request, follow me, do something. Let's talk, because I'm telling you, LinkedIn is really what I've used to help grow my business. And YouTube has helped me put that information out there to share my business. So it's been fantastic. Paul Peck, you're right. It was greatness. You know what, Tyrone, I am serious. I mean, think about it. Every time I get on here and talk, I keep talking about, look, I am short plumbers. I'm turning away calls every day because I don't have plumbers. Every day. And, my thing is, look, I don't run calls at night because I don't have enough plumbers. I don't run calls on the weekend because I don't have enough plumbers. I could hire 2 or 3 plumbers right now, I think, and stay busy. The problem is every plumbing company around is like that. Plumbers are in demand. And as long as it stays like that, with kids not getting in the trades, they're going to become more in demand and they're going to be worth more money. It is literally going to get crazy. All right. Yes, great. Oh, $100 on the check, or be able to set your own price. Yeah, I think it's going to be on the check. Since you're a kid and just don't see it happening. You say that. Somebody asked a while ago, are plumbers making the same that we were 20 years ago? And in 20 years, my pay in the union went from about $18 to $20 an hour to over 50. And that's a 20-year period. Now, I hadn't gone through and done percentages or figured anything like that. And you say, Roger, that's not even cost of living. And I would say you may be right, you may be wrong, because I compare that to what scale did and different things. But guys, there's a supply and a demand problem here. There's not enough plumbers, and my phones are blowing up every day. And that's why I'm so adamant about talking to high school kids or anybody wanting to get into the trade and tell them, look, this is a great thing to do. It's getting late. So I am going to try to get through these. Rock the red. Yes, appreciate the channel and all my comments, helping others. Thank you so much. And the connections are amazing. This stuff is cool. Yeah, I'm already ready for some of the events next year. I will be at Social Media Marketing World. I don't know, Paul, Big John, Neil, if any of y'all are going to those. Country high school, fetching wing gophers, like digging trenches. I'd rather be a fetcher than a gopher. I mean, a digger. All right, Nefer, how often are these people straight out of high school get into plumbing? It's not very often, but a lot of kids do come straight out of high school. I helped get a guy into the union as a welder. Now he travels up north a lot, makes about $3 or $4 grand a week for 6 or 8 months out of the year. Comes back home, takes it easy with the company he's at. I tell kids out of high school, you may want to get out and mess up first. I mean, get that job that you're going to be late to, that you're going to get fired from, that you're going to goof off at, things like that. Because, to me, the union or even one of the big companies, man, that's a career. And if you get in here and you mess it up, it might be better to mess up first than come into it. And that's what my son did. He went and did other things, and he got fired, and he messed up. And he came to me a couple of years later and says, hey, Dad, look, I've learned a lot. I'm ready to get into the trades now. And he has, and he's done very well at it. Bob Smith, thank you. Working in central Pennsylvania on the HVAC side. Good for you. Good for you. Ringo Hayes, being a fetcher gopher, like digging trenches, cleaning trucks, is all part of paying your dues. Once you've mastered those skills, you get more. And Ringo, man, you're right. It's a good way to look at it. Your county high school has an academy for the trades. I love that, Big John. And you got to be an honor student. I like that even better. That's pretty cool. Here, they're starting to bring the trades back into some of the high schools here, but it's hard to get into. Actually, it's probably easier. Different plumbing techniques and procedures. I noticed traveling throughout the country. Now that you're retired and travel, you notice a lot of differences. And Bob, there are a lot of differences. Every time I go to a different area, I try to find buildings under construction and look at them and this and that. One of the neatest things I noticed, I went up to Wisconsin. And this was a few years back. I was still with the union, but I was traveling with some of the different mentor groups. And I went up to one, and every project manager was a CAD operator. They did all their CAD work themselves. And that's one of the most interesting things I've ever seen. Here in Dallas, there's CAD departments, and the PMs don't have anything at all to do with it. So that's one of the biggest differences I've ever seen. Seek ye the kingdom. I want to increase my knowledge of plumbing code. I was taught what to do, but I want to know why you're doing it. Go look at my videos. I've got a video where I talk about the UPC study guide. I think it is fantastic, and I've learned a lot from it, and that's the one I actually use every time I go take plumbing exams. Bob Smith, when I say fetcher, I mean like go and grab a tape measure. Yep, I get it. But if you look at, Bob, if you look at what they're going to need, and when they say go grab a tape measure, you grab a tape measure, a level, and a pair of channel locks, and you come back with everything, then like, well, now go get my level. Well, here's your level. Well, then go get my channel locks. Well, here's your channel locks. Think ahead. What are they going to need next? And when you get good at that, it really will. It will help you a lot. Advice to apprentices: arrive early, clean the tech's truck, wash the truck, put away restock tools, clean their cab, prep tech's truck for the day. You'll be the guy everyone wants to work with. Amen. Now, when you go above and beyond, Snow Dogs, there we go. Snow Dog Vlogs, there you go. See, I knew you would know. Man, that's crazy. 900,000 subs. When you're the guy that everybody wants to work with, man, you're going to learn a lot because they're going to want to take care of you. And if it's by knowledge, training, whatever it is, you'll be fantastic. Yes, connect to me on LinkedIn. It's cool because I have fun over there. The man, the myth, the legend. You must be talking about somebody else. Seek ye, thank you, sir. I have food for thought. Man, there's a lot to this, and there's a great way to learn. I'm telling you, though, if you go to the video, it's the UPC study guide that I've got, and I show people how I study code for exams and stuff like that. It really is good. And Neil, you're right. Kids don't want to get their hands dirty. That's the problem. Your lad once said to you, why do I fix the van and not put it in the garage? Yes. Handed a spanner. I love it. And you know what's funny? When I had my first plumbing job when my brother graduated high school, I got him a job for the summer, and that was enough to make him decide he wanted to go to college. My stepson, Will, he worked for me one summer, and he knew for sure he was going to college. Matter of fact, he worked his butt off so hard that he went to school like 2 weeks early. So it was good, though, because he knew he did not want to be a plumber. You do it going to people a video in Albany and Workbench Con. You know what? I checked into Workbench Con. I want to find out more about that. I've got an electrician that's really big on YouTube that's been talking to me about sponsorship and Home Depot and things like that. I don't know if he knows about Workbench Con, but I have checked into it. Big John, the thing I like about it is that Home Depot's one of the big title sponsors. That's pretty cool. The Urban Explorer, working on joining John, but you're in Louisiana in February, then Florida, June, then LA for Bid Summit. Man, you are going to be running. But that's cool. I like that. Elijah Gage, would you say HVAC is harder to learn than plumbing? No. Matter of fact, I think they're teaching HVAC in kindergarten nowadays because really anybody can do it. Elijah, no, I wouldn't say one's harder than the other. They're different. Going to HVAC school was great for me because you got to learn a little bit of electricity. I tell you what, HVAC problem is probably 90% electricity. Understanding where your power comes in, where your transformers are, where power is reduced down to low voltage and high voltage, and man, the switches and the way they work, it is really, really cool. I mean, I had fun learning it. I wouldn't say it's harder. I wouldn't say one's harder or easier. They're different, but there's great things to learn and know about each one of them. All right, well, guys, I am going to have to get out of here. I've actually got, it's almost 6 o'clock at night. I've got one more plumbing call to run on the way home. I'm going to at least get by and look at it, see if I can get that done tonight or not. And, you know, to me, it's all about making money. It's all about having fun. After going to Vid Summit, Roger, you realized you live in England, but the USA is home. I love that, man. Well, you know what? No, you need to figure out just how to get over here, either for good or more often or something like that. But it is a lot of fun, and we love it. Ringo, thank you very much. Big John, Neil, Paul Peck, thank you all for being here. I have had fun, as always. I do try to do this every Monday night. So, Paul, are you going to make your, before I get out of here, and Liddy TV just got in. Paul, are you going to make yours a regular thing? Are you going to start doing lives? I know you mentioned that being a possibility. Oh, yeah, Tyrone, come on my shop. Man, when you're coming, give me a shout out and let me know. Guys, look at the other people in here. You do it. The Urban Explorer, Paul Peck Drywall Tube, Ringo Hayes. Man, there's a lot of different people in here. You know, connect with each other. Subscribe to their channel. Look at them and watch what they do. I subscribe to Elijah. You're welcome, sir. I subscribe to a lot of other channels. And if I'll ever figure out how to get all the people that I like on the side, Paul, I tried finding out how to put your channel up there the other day. Will's out of town, so he's having a honeymoon. Go figure. Anyway, I've got to get yours up there. But guys, follow these people. Subscribe to their channels. Look at them. See what they do. Cool. Well, I tell you what, Paul, I'm going to be making sure that I carry my phone around just so I get my notifications. I did go back and watch it. Great job. I loved it. In the beginning, I'm wanting to send a message. Hey, man, your audio is not working. I love the fact of the teams and the friendship and the camaraderie and everything that everybody's got here. So, guys, take a minute, subscribe to the other channels, and it'll be fun. So I hope you've enjoyed this tonight. And I say tonight, it's almost 6 o'clock here, and I'm still going to work. I figure out my mouse. So I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's been a couple of weeks, and I will try to get back in here rocking the red. You are welcome, and hopefully I will be back again next week. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber. I'll see you on the next video if you don't get flushed. Bam.